Hello everyone, I'm Dushani Pereira. I'm a second year PhD student at Cardiff University. Today I shall be presenting the paper Understanding Household Consumption Practices and Their Motivations, Opportunities to Foster Sustainability Practices, authored by myself along with my supervisory team. We shall first look at the motivations and aim of research. We'll then discuss related work. I shall then explain our methodology and analysis. Finally, I shall present the findings, opportunities, and limitations of the study. The motivation for this research is that climate change is driven by increasing carbon emissions. Research shows that 72% of carbon emissions are caused by household consumption. Household consumption is the amount of resources used by homes to perform their day-to-day activities. Such consumption may have a negative impact on the environment. Thus, households are key players in addressing climate change issues. So there's a need for ways of engaging households to address a complex topic as climate change. More specifically, the aim of this study was to understand household practices and how these lead to opportunities to encourage sustainable activities. We shall discuss related work under 3 subsections. First, temporal, spatial, and occupancy factors frequently influence household decisions regarding their consumption. By adopting efficiency and curtailment behaviors, households can reduce their carbon emission. Personal and social norms is another way of motivating consumption curtailment. People's activities tend to coincide with what they consider to be common among their peers. People feel responsible for protecting the environment and are motivated to take environmental actions because of their own values. Another method of motivating could be using satisfaction gained through engagement with pro-environmental activities. How people perceive their actions to be may thereby affect one's moral self-image. Technologies including smart meters, web or mobile applications, in-house displays, ambient visualizations, and data physicalizations already exist, and they attempt to encourage sustainable practices at home. However, some challenges exist, such as asymmetry of intentions, relapse behavior, non-negotiable consumption, etc. This may be due to low user engagement in proposed interventions. So there's an opportunity to deepen our understanding of contextual domestic practices to provide insights into unique challenges, motivations, and barriers households face. Talking about our methodology to explore household practices, we engaged in a survey and a household interview. To understand participants' attitudes related to climate change and gain initial insights into occupant information, a Likert scale-based survey was employed as a data collection tool. This survey helped us to structure the follow-up household interviews to aid further discussion. With individuals ranging from age 18 to 54, we recruited 13 households for the interview. These were conducted with the aim of gaining further understanding of perspectives and underlying factors that shape and influence household practices. During our data analysis, we transcribed interview recordings to conduct reflexive thematic analysis with the aid of NVivo. We started by familiarizing ourselves with the qualitative data to understand the context and participants. We then generated initial codes to capture meaningful units of data while critically reflecting on how our personal perspectives may influence the selection of interpretation of codes. We reviewed the codes and looked for patterns and relationships. We collated similar codes together to identify potential themes. We continued revisiting and refining themes until no new themes emerged. We discussed the results of each stage with the research team. Next, we shall move into the findings. We shall look at quantitative findings under 4 main topics. First, the data on awareness of consequences regarding climate change issues and issues created by it shows that all of the participants agreed that climate is changing and thought that they could further reduce their household consumption. Next set of questions on personal norms to reduce consumption displayed that most of the participants agreed that they were personally committed to reducing their household consumption? Well, 68% of participants agree that they had a bad conscience when certain resources are overly used. 12% disagreed with this. The questions on motives for resource consciousness and self-efficacy depicted the highest variation. Over 2/3 were most concerned about their energy consumption. Only 24% agreed to paying attention to consider origin when purchasing vegetables and fruits. Curtailment actions in the housing domain showed washing laundry at lower temperatures was rarely done by 4% of participants, while 88% of participants always or often filled the washing machine to capacity. More than half did not leave a tap running while brushing teeth. 40% of participants never stood under the shower longer than necessary just to feel comfortable. In contrast, a higher number of participants reported they were never or rarely willing to carpool or went on holiday by train. Thermal comfort-related answers depicted that all participants would attempt to adapt their clothes to season. We present our qualitative findings through 3 main themes. The first theme is environment-related curtailment strategies. First, participants mentioned how they attempt to curtail consumption in the house. Second, we found out how they engage with everyone in the house and join the community to recycle and reuse. For example, one house mentioned they were a part of a Facebook group in which people post their old items and then someone in need could take something from it. Third, we found that participants gather knowledge on consumption curtailment from external sources and personal experiences. For example, one house mentioned they always try to keep the freezer full because it's more efficient. The second theme is on accountability and decision-making around consumption practices. First, we found that participants could make inferences among other members of the home. For example, the mother of one house mentioned that she and her partner were good with water usage, but the kids have the longest baths. Second, at times participants discussed among the household members and reached decisions on consumption. For example, 2 houses were not particularly bothered about the best before date. The final theme is on concerns and challenges in moving towards sustainable consumption, where we found that participants negotiate different cultural conventions around consumption practices, children leading to additional consumption, lack of workload and technological desires that people have, anxiety in new homes and geographical location leading to additional consumption, and non-negotiable consumption. Based on these findings, we discussed 5 opportunities for further research. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to encouraging people to reduce household consumption, as individual motivations and circumstances vary. We propose that a combination of these opportunities, tailored to specific home contexts, may be more effective. First, we propose personalized communication and tailored interventions to diverse household contexts and needs. Tailored communication will offer specific recommendations and actionable steps in the household context that occupants can take to reduce their environmental impact. Second, we propose using satisfaction as a push towards sustainability. It is argued that environmentally conscious people are happier and have higher life satisfaction. This satisfaction could be used to motivate them to engage in more sustainable actions. Third, we could appreciate and encourage inter-household collaboration. This collaboration is largely invisible to the outside world. Our quantitative data showed that participants engage in educating household members regarding sustainable actions, which suggest that collaboration directs people to assisting each other. Fourth, we have an opportunity to investigate the association between parents and children. It has long been established that children can hold a measure of influence over their parents' decisions. The engagement and influence of children should be further investigated to determine how children could actively participate in curtailing home consumption. Finally, future research needs to move beyond simply informing households of non-negotiable consumption and further motivate occupants via feedback, incentives, and emotional engagement to reduce consumption. Our studies have certain limitations. We did not use a large representative sample of UK households. The aim of this qualitative research is not to generalize the findings, but to understand specific contexts and explore different perspectives. However, future research may benefit from replicating the current research using a larger sample of UK households. Although we recruited participants through the university network, our participants had different backgrounds and experiences, as well as we got diversity in terms of household size, location, and socioeconomic status. We also had 3 households recruited through snowball sampling that were not part of the university. Future work may benefit from incorporating a more diverse range of participants. Although surveys have benefits as a data collection tool, online surveys commonly suffer from limitations. Therefore, future research may also benefit from using prospective quantitative data collection methodologies, apart from surveys, to further explore household sustainable practices. Thank you for listening, and please contact me if you have any questions.